Hello crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com. My card today features Newton's Nook stamps and some distress ink blending over Stencil. This card is inspired by the current Fusion Card Challenge at fusioncardchallenge.blogspot.com. So let's get started. The distress inks I'm using are Worn Lipstick, Picked Raspberry, Spiced Marmalade, and Squeezed Lemonade. The colors I picked were inspired by the inspiration photo. I'm using the Tim Holtz mini ink blending tool. It's that round tool that you see there on the table. There's round foams that go with it, and I have a coordinating foam in front of each ink pad. So I'm going to start by taping the piece of 5.5 by 4 1/4 white cardstock to my Ranger craft mat. After my cardstock is on the mat securely, I'm placing the stencil over the cardstock. I am using some washi tape to secure that as well. The stencil I'm using is from the Crafter's Workshop. It has a floral theme inspired by the photo as well. I was just adjusting it to make sure it was down nice and secure because you want to make sure that it's flat against the cardstock so that the stencil design comes out as nice as possible. I'm going to speed up this next part a little bit as I do the distress blending. Once all the elements are secure, you should start with the Worn Lipstick and simply run the blending tool over the stencil. With the new ink blending tool, you don't have to worry so much about the circular motions or starting off the page. Make sure, as you blend, to overlap the colors a little bit. When I take the blending foams off my tool, you can see I store them by using some Velcro on the back of my ink pad. This ensures I have the right foam at hand each time I pick up my distress inks. Once you have gone through all of the colors, lift up the stencil to reveal your new handmade pattern paper. Next, let's take a look at some of the supplies I'll use to make the fox element. I'm going to start with some Ranger Archival ink in jet black. I'm going to be working with some basic watercolors. I'm working with the Tim Holtz wide water brush. I don't use any water in the barrel, but I will use a mini mister to spray some water out onto my craft mat. I'm working with a stamp block, of course, and then I have some stamp sets from Newton's Nook. I have Sweetheart Tales and the Wild Child stamp set. The fox is from Sweetheart Tales and the grass is from the Wild Child set. So you can see I stamped the fox onto a piece of watercolor paper. It's 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. Next, I'm going to be showing you how to make the watercolor background around the fox. I'm going to start by stamping the grass from Newton's Nook Designs Wild Child set. So just put the grass in the archival jet black ink down at the bottom. I'm not worried about the overlapping on the stamp because I will be paper piecing the fox and placing it over the rest of the element. So I'm going to spray a little bit of water here on my watercolors and a little bit on my Ranger craft sheet. I'm using the Tim Holtz wide brush again, and I'm just adding a little bit of color right over the grass. The archival ink is waterproof, so even though I just stamped it, I don't have to worry about the ink smearing with the watercolor being added on top of it. Next, I'm going to move on to the sky. I'm going to use this dark blue here for the sky. I don't really even worry about cleaning my water brush because watercolors are very forgiving, and when I add this darker color, you're not even going to see the light green over it. So you can see I'm dipping the water brush into the little bit of pooled water there on my craft mat and just spreading it around. Again, I'm not worried about coloring over the fox because he's going to be paper pieced, and so all of the elements of the fox are going to be covered later on. Next, I'm going to move on to the paper pieced fox. I stamped the fox from Sweetheart Tales onto a piece of coordinating orange pattern paper. It's a very subtle pattern. I'm going to add the white elements of the fox with a Tim Holtz distress marker in Picket Fence. The Picket Fence distress marker is unique because it creates an opaque look on top of colored paper. So you can see that as it dries, the areas that I colored with the marker are turning white. So I'm just going to color his paws and his tail and little areas that are supposed to be white. While fussy cutting him out does take a little bit of time, I think it just presents a unique look different than coloring with Copics, which I do a lot. Here you're going to see the distress marker again. It's picket fence. Make sure that you push the marker cap all the way down so you don't see that black ring, because otherwise your markers will dry out. So I've written down the different measurements for the pattern paper. The stencil piece is 2 by 4 3/4, and then I just made the pink piece a little bit bigger to add a border. I cut out the watercolor paper with a Sizzix die, and the same for the scalloped pink piece of paper. I will layer the fussy cut fox right over the stamped image of the fox. Next, I want to share a little bit about how I tie a bow with twine on my cards. So you see I started with some American Crafts yellow twine, and a good rule of thumb is you're going to need about 3 times the length of the piece of paper in order to have enough room to tie a nice bow. So you see I wrap it all the way around the card, and then I'm just tying a simple knot on the back here. I'm going to pull the knot to the front and where I would like it on the card, and then I'm going to just tie the bow and kind of just adjust it around till I like it. It's very simple. It's just like tying your shoes, but by putting it all the way around the card, I don't have to worry so much about it being held down, and that really makes it a lot easier. So once I have the bow the way I like it, I trim off the ends, and then I'm going to flip it around and put a little piece of Scotch tape on the back of the card to hold it all in place. So after I get all of the elements adhered the way that I like them, I'm going to tape this onto a regular A2 size card base. And here at the end you see my finished card. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Please click the thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. You can also visit me at my blog, blog.jesscrafts.com, and all the products that I've used are listed in the video description below.